Hello everyone. 11, so it's morning. Maybe in Philippines it's afternoon already. Anyhow, good morning from Myanmar, and welcome to my presentation. Minglava is that greetings in Myanmar language. Before I go to my presentation, I want to introduce myself. So my name is Miss Roi San from Myanmar. I'm from Kitchen State, Myanmar. In Myanmar, there are 7 states and 7 regions. I'm from Kitchen State. So currently, I'm studying in Asian Sushi Institute, Manila, Philippines. And before I studied there, I work in Myanmar. I work in that Diocesan Education Commission in our diocese. I work in that education commission, and as a trainer, trainer can say, and training staff as well, and as a trainer for the parents and for the community teachers. And after I worked there for 3 years. After that, I work in that international non-government organizations. I work in that Danish Refugee Council. In that organization, I work as a child protection staff, and also in Roi San Myanmar, I work as a child protection staff as well. After that, I came to study in Manila, Philippines. Now I'm studying that Master of Science in Education, major in Transformational Leadership. So I'm a student in Manila. But currently, I'm in Myanmar because of coronavirus and that summer holidays. I came back home last March. So nice to meet you all. Okay, today I will go on the education system in Myanmar that presented by Ms. Roi San today, 13 May 2020. Okay, so this is the content what I'm going to present. So before I go to my topics, I want to apologize. I know that all you Filipino teachers or Filipino people, almost all of you guys are very good in English, but I'm very poor in English, so please, I apologize. Try to understand my poor English. Okay, my contents are Myanmar. What is Myanmar? By the way, and also sharing is just about our Myanmar and education. I don't mean that I'm very expert and I come to share. I just share what I know, some of my knowledges and about Myanmar. Just that. And Myanmar educational logo, I will go on that, and Myanmar educational history background and education system in Myanmar, and then levels, grades of basic education, and I will share the COVID-19 in Myanmar. That is a very hot issue. Okay, then that is Myanmar map. Maybe some people, when I am in Manila and when I meet some Filipino friends, they ask, "Where are you from?" So I ask from Myanmar. So, but they don't know Myanmar. Where is it? They don't know. So I will explain it now. So Myanmar is the state. Now very obvious that is in the map is very obvious that is India and between India and China, and border with many countries. Myanmar officially the Republic of Union of Myanmar, that is also known as Burma, that is the former name. Now officially is the Republic of Union of Myanmar. It's a country in Southeast Asia. So Myanmar is bordered by the Bangladesh, India, China, Laos, Thailand, the Andaman Sea, and the Bay of Bengal. So those are the border with Myanmar. Myanmar is a big country, quite big country by the area. So the size is 676,578 kilometer. Myanmar is the largest of the mainland Southeast Asia states by area. And as of 2017, population is 54 million. And its largest city is Rangoon. Rangoon is the former capital city, but now the capital city is Naypyidaw. Before capital city is the Rangoon, and then Myanmar has been a member of Association of Southeast Asian Nations ASEAN country. Myanmar is one of these ASEAN countries since 1997. So Myanmar capital city is Naypyidaw. Currency is Burmese kyat. Burmese kyat is cheaper than your money, peso. So like 1 peso similar to equal to the 30 kyats or something around that rate. So recognize regional languages is Kachin. We have many different languages, but recognize that main languages are Kachin, Kaya, Kayin, Chin, Mun, Rakhine, and Shan. Plus Burmese. Burmese is the official language. So we have the main languages, and we have other minority languages. We have a lot of that languages. That religions are the Theravada Buddhism 87.9, Christianity 6.2, Islam 4.3, and the other 1.6. Myanmar is like a Buddhist country. Buddhist majority. Okay, then that is the map and the costume of traditional dress of ethnic groups in Myanmar: Kachin, Chin, Rakhine, Burma, Kaya, Shan, Kayin, Mon. Okay, then this is Myanmar flag, and this another the one is the flag, and the another picture is the picture of very famous and beautiful place in Myanmar. And then Myanmar educational logo, that is the Sekta Sikam Penya. The left side is Sekta to mean the moral, and the Sikam mean the education or discipline. I'm sorry, Sikam mean the discipline, and then the down one is the bottom one is the education. That is the Myanmar educational logo. Myanmar educational history background. I will go to the brief the Myanmar educational history background. Buddhist monastery where they would learn about Buddhism and be taught to read and write. Myanmar education starts from the Buddhist monastery, and in the past, few women were educated, and their education took place mainly at home as they learned how to perform domestic tasks. So a few women were educated. That will happen as I know is not only in Myanmar. Most many countries happen that only a few women were educated in the past in the history. Okay, then yeah, education before independent. We got the independent is 1948. So before independent, 1945 to 1948, they were before World War II. So there were the three types of school in Burma. So vernacular school in which the medium of instruction was Burmese or one of the recognized indigenous language. As I asked a while ago, we have that eight main different languages. We have many other languages also, but here the medium of instruction was Burmese or other one of the indigenous language. So Anglo vernacular school in which English was taught as a second languages and the medium of instruction were English, Burmese or one of the recognized indigenous language. Okay, the third one is English school in which the medium of instruction was English and Burmese as a second language. That is the schools before independence. So Burmese gained independence on 4th of January 1948. So education after independence. 1948 from 1948 to 1962, soon after the declaration of independence on the 4th of that we got independent in that day, and the government of Union of Burma announced the statement of educational policy, which was based upon the report of its go on this report. Okay, and then sorry, in 1950, Burma was one of the richest country in Asia. It had a high literacy rate. So after independence, the Burmese education and economic rates went to the height, and the Burmese is one of the richest countries in Asia. And following the 1962, the military coup and all the schools were nationalized. And they were no longer Christian schools, but Buddhism monastic schools could continue to function in rural area. So all the schools were nationalized. That means before that 1962 military coup, that after independence, and between the 1948 and 1962, the Myanmar education went to the high, and also they were many kind of school, like Christian school, Buddhism school, and also private school, and something like that. We had many kind of schools. So, and maybe as I understand, many kind of schools. So the schools are competitive, and also every school is trying to give the best service, the best educational service to the children. So competitive, and then the education went too high, but here nationalized and only one kind of school. And then let's see what happens next. 1964, the system of education was reorganized, and the structure of that is the new comprised that one new system of education comprised basic education, technical agriculture, vocational education, and higher education. So the basic education school strata change from 533 to 542. 5 mean primary school is standard 0 to standard 4, that 5 years. The children go to school 8 at 5 years old, and middle school is grade standard 5 to standard 8, and then high school is standard 9 to standard 10. Okay, and then however 1962 all schools were nationalized, and a while ago I asked once already, so that on nationalized the educational standards began to fall, like all nationalized, and Myanmar education is went to fall, and Burmese replaced English as the medium of instruction at Burmese University in 1964. So in the past, before that, English was the medium of instruction, and now Burmese is the medium of instruction. They replaced it. So with the passing of new university in the university education law a year earlier, this led rapid decline in education proficiency among Burmese. English was reintroduced as the medium of instruction. So from 1962, 1982, English was reintroduced as the medium of instruction. So due to the students' protests of 888 uprising, so all universities were closed around Myanmar for the 2 years. That is the popular one, very obvious student protest of that 888 for X. Okay, so that is now Myanmar educational system. So we have the basic education and higher education. So in the basic education, we have the primary school, middle school, high school. So primary school is grade 1 to 5. Like something like complicated. We call it standard 1. Standard 0, grade 1. Standard 0 is the same with the grade 1. Standard 0, grade 1, standard 1, grade 2, something like that. So now they call it grade 1 to 5, standard 0 to standard 4, something like that. So middle school, grade 6 to 9. Grade 6 to 9, and high school, grade 10 to 11. So higher education, many professional university, arts and science university, higher education, technical college, teacher education colleges, and technical institute. So only after we finish high school, we can continue to go to those university, college, and institute. Okay, like we have that vocational schools. That those schools after primary school, if we don't want to continue to the middle school, we can go to directly to the vocational schools, and after middle school also we can go to the technical high schools. If we don't want to continue to the high school, no matter high school, so we can continue the technical high school. That we have choice. So my undergrad is Bachelor of Science in Mathematics. So I finished with the Arts and Science University. Okay, that is the Myanmar educational system. Here is you can see more detail, more specific. but this is quite small, so I was worried that you cannot see clearly. That's why I prepared that I want to go that one I created. This one is from the government page. Okay, so education system before 2016. The structure of school education is 542. This is before 2016. That means the one I passed through. So the structure of school education is 542, mean 5 is the primary school, grade 1 to grade 5, and middle school, grade 5 to grade 8, and the high school, grade 9 to 10. That is the one I passed through. And then the system is no failure education. I hope you guys understand that no failure education. No failure education means as long as you finish the academic year, you sit for the exam, you will not feel the grade. You will pass. This year, no matter you did it well in the exam or you did it not well or exam, no matter, you will pass. That is no failure education. This year grade 1 student, next year grade 2 student, then the year after next year grade 3 student, something like that. It's called no failure education. And at the end of standard 10 is the last standard of the basic education. So at that standard, students take the university entrance exam. We call it in another name is the matriculation exam. In Myanmar, matriculation exam is very powerful or something like that. So matriculation exam can decide for our, can say, like future, what I understand and what I see in my view. Yes, if you don't perform in matriculation exam, you will be failed and you will pass, and then you cannot go to university and something like that, and if you only, you need to have good grade. The student who achieve distinction in 5 or more subjects are generally placed in one of Myanmar medical schools or other most selective university. That is, how powerful matriculation exams. So standard 10. In standard 10, we have 6 subjects. Among 6 subjects, if you want to go to the best university, that in the medical school or medical university, that medical school, if you want to enter in that medical school, you have to get that 5 among 6 subjects. You have to get 5 or more subjects. That means 5 or 6 subjects. You have to get that. Unless you get that, you cannot enter through that. In Myanmar, if you don't get that or distinction in grade or standard 10, you cannot be a doctor in your life, even you want to be. So the problem, as I see in my idea, the problem is like, some rich people, so they can afford for their children study, so they can support well, so their children get that kind of distinction. So though their children doesn't want to become a doctor, but to get that kind of 5 or 6 distinction is not easy. So the parents, the parents push their children to become a medical doctor or some, push them to go to the medical school or something when their children get that kind of distinction in matriculation exam. That is one of the problem as I see in my environment or is in our society. So that is kind of the problem. And if even you are really interested to become a doctor, if you don't get that distinction, to get that distinction is that if you just go to the public school and just study, that is not enough. To get that distinction is you have to, how to say, not enough. I mean, I think I can say I never see that the student who only study in the public school and get that 5 distinction or 6 distinction. I never seen that. Only the parents are rich and they can send their children to the extra class and their tuition. Only those students get that kind of distinction. Okay. That is the problem. Okay, that is before 2016, but now the education system is changing. Before we go the system 542. 542 now, KG plus 12. KG plus 12 education system has been introduced in Myanmar since 2016. So basic education, and by the 2023, when the first batch of students were in Najan under the program of KG plus 12 basic education system. So the existing 6 years of the Bachelor of Engineering and those were not, or those were only go with the 6 years. Okay. So basic education, we have the different departments under the Department of Basic Education, that is go in that KG plus 12, and higher education is under Department of Higher Education, and teacher education is Department of Teacher Education and Training. In Myanmar, if you want to be a teacher, you have to go this here, that teacher education, that teacher training college. We have that kind of, opened by the government. So if you want to be a teacher in the public, if you want to be a public school teacher, you have to go to the teacher training college or teacher training university. So that teacher university. So you have to join in that school. Though I finished from the Philippines that Master of Science in Education, so though I finished those degree here, I can, how to say, it's not easy to become a public teacher, but I can be a teacher in the private school and in the some like private sector. I can be teacher. Then vocational education, and the Department of Technical and Vocational Education. So education system in Myanmar, the structure of education system, that is that preschool is the age is that 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. That is preschool. That ECCD and KG. ECCD and KG is 5 years old, and then after that they go to the primary school. This is the new system. So in the primary school, grade 1 to grade 5, and in the middle school, grade 6 to grade 9, and the high school, grade 10 to 12. That is the that is the I'm sorry. That is the new system. So when our age is like 18, they will go to the university. Uh, if I share my experience, when I'm 16 years old, I went to the university already. When I was 15 years old, I passed matriculation exam already, and then I went to the 16. I started to study in the university. I think at the time my problem is, I think it's too young to go to university. Yeah, it's still very young, like not yet adult. So now it's very nice, I think. 18th adult already. So the level and the grades of the basic education. So primary education method I asked already, so I skip. The curriculum structures of basic education. So in of kindergarten, let's check how good the aims of our education system. Okay, to be to be self-directed, independent, have a strong sense of being, to be happy, healthy, and well-nourished, to be wishing to explore further reading, writing, mathematical, and knowledge activity, and to be contributing to well-being of group. Okay. Primary educational curriculum framework is the aims of the primary is to demonstrate basic mastery of core skill of Myanmar language, listening, speaking, reading, and okay, I will go first. To skillfully perform basic mathematical calculation or something. Okay, I will go first. To make scientific exploration about natural phenomena in one's environment and apply the acquired basic science, knowledge and skills in daily life. To understand geographical facts, situation and historical events of Myanmar and develop desirable dispositions and such as love of and loyalty to the Republic of Union of Myanmar. To develop the basic knowledge, skill, attitude, aesthetic appreciation, and behavior, which are assumed to be the basic characteristic of good citizen. The subjects in the primary level are Myanmar, English, mathematics, science, social studies, physical education, life skills, aesthetic, moral and civics, and local curriculum. Okay, so middle school. Yes, we have the similar aims, just just a little bit different, depends on the age and the levels. So I will skip it. Subjects are Myanmar in the middle school, English, mathematics, science, social studies, life skills, physical education, and morals and civics and aesthetics. Those are the subjects we learn in middle school. Okay, so um, high school curriculum framework. The aims of high school education are as follows: to achieve age-appropriate balance all around the development of five strengths, that is, the intellectually, physically, moral, socially, and economically. To appreciate languages, culture, customs of all nations groups in Myanmar. So, to achieve development of necessary knowledge, skills, and attitude, especially in well-defined areas of learning of high school level. Okay, I will go skip it. So in high school we have like three kinds of major. Number one is science, and number two is art, and then the third one is like economics. So what kind of subjects we learn in under the science? So we have to choose since high school. Okay, so science. Myanmar, we have to learn, and then English, mathematics, and physics, and then chemistry, and then biology. We have to learn the six subjects in science under the science. Okay, and under the okay, I forget to say. So like if you want to be a doctor, if you want to study in the medical university, in the higher education, you have to take that science in high school, that science major in high school. If you take art, or if you take economics, you cannot, after high school you have to, or you cannot go to the medical school. So in the art, we study six subjects also: English, Myanmar, mathematics, geography. My profile has a problem. So, and history, and then economics, geography, history, and economics. That's six subjects: Myanmar, English, mathematics, geography, history, economics. Those six subjects we have to study in art, under art. So after this, you cannot go to the medical school, but you can go to the other university, and yeah, you can choose other. From the economic also, you cannot go to the medical school, but you can go to the like engineering school, or you can go to the teacher training, and you can the rest you can go. Under the economy, you have to study Myanmar, English, mathematics, physics, chemistry, and economics. Those subjects you have to learn. Okay, now I finished that. The education system in Myanmar. So I hope you guys also see how is Myanmar and how is the education system in Myanmar. I hope that you get some ideas about Myanmar. So now I will continue to go to the COVID-19 in Myanmar. That is the hot issue in the war, around the war. So the virus was confirmed to have reached Myanmar that on 23rd of March 2020. So yes, this one, that's very likely in Myanmar. In Philippines, that I came back here March 30 or 14 before Manila lockdown. So at that time here, not the coronavirus not arrived yet. So on 23rd of March, maybe I think two cases. I forget it. I think two cases were identified on that day, and then currently up to now, up to today, coronavirus cases only 207, and the recover 130, and then that sick people dying for the coronavirus in Myanmar. From June, from currently in Myanmar, that you know, in Myanmar, I asked once already, but I will repeat again. That one is Myanmar is big country, and then like 7 states and 7 regions. We have that 7 state and 7 regions. So like in Philippines, you call it that province, but we don't call province. We call states and regions. So that now in Myanmar lockdown according to state. So within kitchen state we can go and we can but from one state to another is we cannot go that. And also the restaurant and the shop, the market all are closed now. But from the June they are announcing that they will start to open. That's all. The picture of the picture of the picture is one city, the market of one city in Myanmar during the COVID-19. They draw the the spaces, and then they sell in that way. Social distancing. Okay, education during COVID-19. So that is how the COVID-19 effect to education in Myanmar is that unfortunately the cases were identified and the coronavirus is spreading or started to spread in Myanmar at the time. The higher education, many university students are taking their final exams. So those days they are taking their exam, but COVID-19 coronavirus is started to suppress around the country. So the government had to suspend the exams. And luckily basic education is that summer holiday already by the time the coronavirus started to spread. So basic education holiday is like second week, third week, start from the second week, third week of March to the third week of May. That is the summer holiday in Myanmar for the basic education. So, but currently Myanmar is trying to reopen. Myanmar is planning to reopen the schools. So Myanmar government is preparing to reopen basic education schools in July and will release exam results before school reopens. So normally in Myanmar we have our New Year is Myanmar New Year is after Dinjan, that water festival that in April, like mid of April. So after that Dinjan water festival in the New Year, always they release exam result. But this year, because of coronavirus, they cannot release the exam result up to now. So they announced now before school reopen, they were released the exam result. So the education ministry will provide free. When the schools open, the education ministries will open free face shield and face mask for the students and teachers. So I don't know in Philippines, but here in Myanmar, the mask price are very raising and very, how to say, expensive now. The masks are very expensive. Like one mask is in, if I say in peso, around 20 pesos or 25 peso around it. Or yeah, 15 to that 25 peso for one mask. Before COVID-19 is only around 2 peso or something like that. So everyone can afford, but now it's very expensive. So, uh, you know, is is how to say, some people, some the can say poor, yeah, that cannot afford. So that's why the education is, the education ministry is planning to provide. Okay, very good news. And school teachers said that it is easier to make upper and lower secondary obey COVID instruction, but it will be difficult. Yeah, the teachers are worried about that one. So, the middle school and high school students, they understand. They are, how to say, they understand the COVID is high risk and dangerous for the, everyone. They understand, so they will follow the COVID instructions. But for the primary student, they are still very young, so how to say, it's maybe quite hard to explain them to understand. So that is the teacher's worry. And there are other problems, like a possible shortage of teachers. This problem is not only for because of not because of only the COVID-19. Even now, in some villages, that shortage of teachers happen. Not enough teacher, and in one school, 2 or 3 teachers are trying to manage many classes or something like that happen. So now COVID happened. So one class, we have to separate many class, and that not that happened, that not enough teachers. So some parents are also worried about their children to send schools. Of course, I have also that younger sister. For me also, I'm also a bit worried if corona is still spreading. How to say, is it safe to send my younger sister to school? Or maybe every parents might worry. So some parents are worried about that one because of the COVID-19. That is the So those are the references linked from the Google and from some news and from the government page. I got those points. So thank you everyone. Thank you for listening my presentation. And uh, in Myanmar, in my hometown, one case is identified last one. COVID-19 case is identified last month, but now recovered already. So now I think I'm safe in my hometown. My hometown is quite big and not crowded. Not crowded. Population is also not big, so I think I'm safe. I wish you all guys to be safe from coronavirus. Take care, stay safe. Bye bye.